Hello everyone, and welcome to another Rise of the Witch King commentary. That's right, I'm back. It's been a long time since the last one. So long that we released 2.02 version 5. And that is what this cast is on. It's on the new patch. It's actually version 5.0.1. 1v1 on Forza Horizon 2. You have Turgon as Dwarves in the top left against Otto as Elves in the bottom right. Now it's important to note that since this is version 5, basically the random factions are actually revealed on the loading screen. So if these players chose random, they do already know each other's factions. And I guess this is pretty much the assumption we can go on from now on, is that each player knows what faction he's up against. And this is a big deal, of course, because we have Dwarves here in the top left, and as soon as you know you're up against Dwarves, you're going to start searching for forward mines. So it's going to be interesting to see if Turgon actually makes this work by not losing his forward mine network too early. We can see that Otto is going for a barrack start with Lorien Warriors. And we see basically the typical Dwarven start of Hall of Warriors to a, well, we don't have the forward mine set up yet. It's about to be. It looks like he's going to put a forward mine up right here, actually. That's a bit risky with a troll right there, but if you go right in the bottom left, of course, the troll just leaves you alone. I'm not sure if you can actually build the mine shaft here, though, without the troll getting aggressive towards it. Maybe if it's really in the corner. And hello, we have a builder here. Builders have tripled vision radius in version 5, so they're actually great scouting units if you want to use them for that. Of course, it still costs 500 resources, so it's a pretty big risk, but you can see here that Otto is actually effectively using his builder to see what his opponent is doing. He's going to want to retreat. Oh, you're kidding me. He's going to steal the treasure chest. He stole the treasure chest. Wow. 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 That's just wow. Of course, Dwarven units are very slow. It's lower than builders, so they couldn't catch the builder, and that was actually pretty funny, I have to say. The builder stealing the treasure chest right at the beginning of the game. And alright, we have the phalanxes out of this mine, which I guess is safe from the cave troll. It's right there. I wasn't aware of that. I assumed the cave troll would attack it. I mean, yeah, you can hide a unit in the corner, but a mine is bigger, so it's easier to get within the cave troll's auto-acquire range. And already we have a Lorien Warrior after this mine shaft. Guardians are out. Guardians are stronger than Lorien Warriors, so the Lorien Warriors must retreat, but they're faster, so they can get away from that. And it does look like Turgon's determined to get this in, and probably spam some hobbits. Now, another thing we did in version 5 is that we increased the hobbit build time in inns from 30 seconds to 45 seconds. So it's nowhere near as effective as a strategy as it used to be. Not that it's not a good strategy, it's just harder to pull off. Simply because the hobbit spam was a bit much in version 4. You have Gollum on the map, wandering around really close to Turgon's base now. Turgon trying to defend his forward mines, but Otto is really finding them. And here we have a forward mine quite close to Otto's base now. And I think this is the way you really need to play Dwarves now, is don't just rush a forward mine into the enemy base when you know your enemy is going to look for it. Instead, try to gain control over strategic parts of the map, like this inn. That's a good place. Now the problem here is that Turgon built his mine really close to this Malern tree. So Otto had fair warning, and he's already going after it. Turgon's definitely going to have a hard time here. He's moving in from the top. Seems to be all right there. Chased Otto out. Otto's actually building a Malern tree close to the middle. This is actually pretty interesting. I think it's an effective scouting tactic. Not so much just for the economy, because he's really expanding close to this base. So it's not likely to last very long, this Mallory tree. But it's great for scouting because you get a nice vision bonus for the Mallory tree. Now let's take a look at powers and command points. You have 600 maximum command points, so just over half used by Otto. We have Rallying Call, which is basically you always get that power versus Dwarves. There's no reason to ever get Heal or Rebuild is the first power. Maybe Heal in a 4K game, I don't know. But not in a 1K game. Turgon as Rallying Call, and he got Heal. He only has 400 maximum command points. He's struggling a little bit. Only 250 or so CPU used so far. And 3 more power points slowly saving up there. And it does look actually like Otto also got Heal. Turgon trying to attack, but just outnumbered. At this point, Otto has 2 barracks. So let's see if Turgon has 2. He does not. He only has 1 Hall of Warriors. So he will easily get out spammed here. I would suggest after building even 4 resource buildings at around 97% each, or a higher percentage anyway, then you should get your second unit production building. You don't want to fall behind in terms of spam, and ideally you want to be ahead. Now Brand is on the map. Very common first hero for Dwarves, very cheap, 1200 resources, has a great level 2 ability, which of course can send groups of units flying, killing them. That's of course Slam Shot. Also very underrated because of his Train Archer's ability, which is actually really useful for getting your archers to level 2 and onwards. Because higher level archers do gain a pretty significant stat bonus. Of course, level 2 they can also replenish lost troops. Slam Shot is here. Brand is an aggressive stance. He's normally you want to be careful if using aggressive stance for heroes. You only get something like a 10% damage bonus. I did claim in the past that the armor penalty for being an aggressive stance is around 43%. Apparently that's outdated information. I got that from a guide that never got updated. But it's something like I think that was what it was in 2.01, but now it's something like 20-something% penalty, which is still very significant, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. I'm gonna need to make a note to correct that guide. There are a few stances guides, and yeah, I'm not sure what else is out of date there now. Turgon's still trying to push into Otto's base, and look at this, he has how many guardians? There's 3 guardians and the phalanx, and of course Brand to help kill these units. And this is pretty bad for Otto now, because once you do let Dwarven infantry get to your buildings, they will destroy them very easily. However, Otto has lots of units, and he's probably not going to lose his second barracks, and these units are going to go down now that they're being flanked. We have Haldir, who has splash damage with his melee attack, very useful. Again, risking aggressive stance, but he's in no danger of getting killed, so it's not really a big deal for now. Still taking quite a bit of damage, though, even with those few units. But he'll live, he'll be fine. Now, Brand is slightly in trouble, had to retreat a bit. These hobbits are helping out. Of course, the hobbits can pretty much one hit on these elven Lorien warriors with their rocks. And Turgon summons more hobbits. Otto actually trying to stop the production of these hobbits at the inn, but it looks like he's going to be stopped. Turgon's not going to allow him. But I bet Otto won't give up on going after that inn. Dwarven Builder tries to build a forward mine in the very corner. That's a pretty risky place to try. In the unlikely event that it wasn't spotted, immediately it could have worked, but obviously it was spotted, and there was a Mallory tree right beside it, so that was not very effective, and the builder's killed. Definitely didn't work out. Now this forward mine's going to go down. Doesn't look like it can, I don't know, if I guess a good slam shot and then sniping if Turgon reacted fast enough, but he didn't, so he's going to lose this mine shaft, but not before he takes out some units. It's just 1 phalanx. Now Brand is going to have to decide what to do. Turgon doesn't really have enough units to continue this attack. Did quite a bit of damage though, but Of course, Otto already rebuilt his barracks. He's building more Malin trees. We have a double hall of warrior spam at this point. And of course, dwarves have stronger infantry, but they're weaker than the elven ones. And the big problem is that elves can spam archers. And that's what really makes the difference. Even if the Lord warriors aren't strong enough on their own with archer support, they can do just fine against dwarves. And archers are great for hit and run attacks on the slow dwarven units as well. And Haldir is certainly a big asset. Level 4 now, almost, well, not far from level 6, where he gets his leadership, which will only make him even more useful. Now, Otto has 11 power points. He can choose to get his third power. A 10-point power, perhaps. He could also go for the 5-point Farsight, if that's what he wants to go for, but it's not really... like, you don't want to go too horizontally when you're getting powers. It's going to have to make progress down the power point tree. He's got 700 maximum command points. Still lots of space to increase his army, and he is working on it. 12 points now. I guess he hasn't decided what power to get, or perhaps he just hasn't noticed yet. He's at this point. But he's a pretty strong player. He probably is well aware of how many powers he has.
We'll call for some guardians.
I mean, the game makes it pretty obvious. Maximum 725 for Turgon, which is good. So he's basically caught up there. But yeah, still also has a little bit of room for improvement. Hobbit spam turned out pretty useful. But now this inn is down. Of course, you did see Turgon get the 7 hobbits, and he got another 10 points, which implies that he's actually... yes, he is actually ahead.
Come to my aid.
Oops. Kind of clicked on the wrong part of the map. Haldir in massive trouble there, but he's fast enough to get out of here.
We'll call for some guardians.
There's a lot of dwarven units. Now let's quickly switch to all pairs again so we can actually see everything properly. Look how many units. That's a lot of units, but why are they leaving? Surely Otto knows that there's a massive army coming. He must have seen it. It was chasing Haldir. That's interesting. He's running back and forth now. I'm not sure what he's trying. Perhaps he was considering an attack on the dwarven base while Dwarves was attacking his base, but that would not really work out very well, because by the time he got to the dwarven base, Dwarves would already have done a huge amount of damage. That was an arrow volley power. But, well, actually, it did work out pretty well. Arrow volley is especially effective against dwarves. In this case, Turgon didn't even really react to it. It was just kind of luck that some of the units got away because they were moving at the time. But he didn't press X to avoid it. But even if he did, dwarven units are pretty slow. It's quite possible to hit quite a lot of them anyway. But that was a very good use of arrow volley. And that dwarven attack that looked very dangerous for a while was stopped, but we have another forward mine up here. 2 guardians on one side, 2 on the other side, being split up, attacking different trees, forcing Otto to also split up. We're going to use Haldir and some units here to deal these groups, while also attacking the forward mine. Very good reaction from Otto here. Actually saved this Malin tree. This one's not going to be saved. And neither is that forward mine. Turgon did not manage to stop it. And we have Lancers on the field. This is the 3rd unit production building by Otto, and we have a level 2 barracks, which means Mirkwood archers could be on their way very soon. Turgon trying to still hold on to this part of the map, but again we have Lorien warriors going after this inn. And Turgon actually played very effectively here. I've heard from many players saying that dwarves are basically screwed right now on version 5 because of the fact that random factions are revealed. Normally players don't pick dwarves, they just go random and get dwarves. It's not a very popular faction, and the perception is that dwarves can't do well if the opponent knows that he's up against dwarves, because he'll just scout for forward mines. But I think Turgon demonstrated in this game that that's not really true, because you shouldn't play dwarves the way you did in version 4. I think it really has changed a bit. Whenever your opponent knows your dwarves, don't just rush a forward mine into his base where it's going to be the first place he looks. What Turgon did really worked out pretty well. I mean, he went for this inn, he creeped a little bit, and he really just took some strategic... He was careful to pick strategic parts of the map to set his forward mines. Even though Otto reacted very well to him and scouted him very well with the builder, even so Otto had a bit of trouble. And you've seen here that a lot of the attacks have been on Otto's base, not on Turgon's. That could change though, as Otto has a massive army here. That's a lot more threatening than Turgon's army. And we have a Mirkwood Archer here as well. We have Lancers. And we have the barrage ability. Excellent. Now one thing Turgon has been doing really well is he's gotten a PowerPoint advantage. So he has got, that's 10, 20, 35, 39 points basically in total. And Otto, 10, 20, 32. Pretty significant advantage for Turgon. I think Otto is slowly closing the gap. But as long as Turgon is ahead, it's a pretty big deal. That barrage is very well used. And this attack that would have easily failed is now able to do something because of that. You know, Gloin is on the field, a very good hero against buildings. We have another Hobbit spam, and this barracks is going to go down. With a rallying call and everything, there's just no chance. One of the most important things to do as Elves is protect your level 2 barracks. It can take a while to get a new barracks to level 2. It takes a while to upgrade the barracks, and it's expensive. And wow, they're going straight for the fortress. And they're actually doing huge amounts of damage to it. Of course, like I said, Dwarven infantry, the melee infantry are phenomenal against buildings. And I think Gloin's attacking it too somewhere. Where is he? Well, Gloin was around before. I don't know where he went. Maybe we're just not seeing him in here. And Otto's going to lose his fortress. Wow. I've got to admit, I did not expect this force of dwarves to actually take out the fortress. But Otto didn't really make the strongest effort to block them when they went for the buildings. That's what you have to do against dwarves, I feel. So you need to send your units to block them and just snipe them at a distance with your archers as much as possible. And we have an undermine. More units coming out. And that's it. I don't see how Otto's recovering from this. There's no way. His forces are decimated. He's basically down to cavalry and, you know, a few Mirkwood archers. And look at the damage here. This is really well done. Really well played by Turgon. And I don't think even Otto expected the effectiveness of this attack. All started with a barrage, a good use of barrage. And just constantly spamming the units and getting mine set up, and this undermine was great. You don't need to use undermine just for those, you know, siege hammer surprise attacks. This was a great use of it to support your forces as you're attacking the enemy base. And look at that. Everything is being destroyed now. I'm not sure if Otto's going to make an effort to build a barrack somewhere else, or if he's just going to GG out of this. But in any case, it would really be, like, I mean, really, he's not going to win at this point. And that is it. This is barracks. But it does look like Otto's still alive, so he is building somewhere. He's not going to give up. He's got another barracks up here. Pretty close to the enemy base, actually. At this point, Turgon's just cleaning up. Otto has a lot of Malern trees. All over the place, actually. 850 max command points. That's pretty good. You can also get his 15-point power, but he really needs to rebuild his fortress to be able to use it. And we have another 15 points here for Turgon. 10 more points for his 25-point power. Really just very well played. I really enjoyed this game. Just it's proof that dwarves aren't broken, frankly. Because Otto played really well. It's not like he just did stupid things in this game. He played well. I especially love the beginning, the way he scouted with that builder. Very effective. And then even with that, Turgon managed to make it work, essentially. It's all about thinking about the optimal strategy in any given situation. And sometimes players take a very linear approach where they just think, I do A, then B, then C, then D, and that's how I play the game. Sometimes there are other ways of playing it, and you have to branch out a bit, and sometimes you have to change the way you play. I never did feel like the strategy you often see dwarves do of rushing forward mines into enemy bases and spamming them around is the optimal one. Simply because I don't think it actually works very well against a good player. As long as a good player actually reacts fast to your forward mines. And it's really more important to look at macro and taking over the right parts of the map. And making uses of resources like inns, that's certainly good. And forward mines are going to be critical close to the enemy base, but you just have to time it right. And one thing to keep in mind is, you don't, I mean really, the ideal point to have the forward mine set up is right before you exit your units. So you want to have a few units in your mine network for when you finish. I just dropped something on the ground if you heard that. But you want to have a few units in your mine network so that when you finish your mine shaft, of course your opponent's going to show up and try to destroy it. You're going to have units out already. And he's already going to be in a bit of trouble. Now, Turgon is building tunnels, or mine shafts rather, all over the place. And this is not just good for his economy, but good for scouting, just to see if Otto's planning on building some new building. Look at that. Really destroying everything that Otto has. Actually, where... Okay, we have another barracks here. Otto's really determined to stay in this game. Still harassing with his lancers. One thing Turgon could do is split up his units a little bit, not just have a giant army. It's not really necessary. He's got a level 3 and level 2 Hall of Warriors. Hasn't even built a third building yet. I think he should, just for the sake of it. He's actually working on upgrading his fortress, you know, just in case Otto has some kind of weird surprise attack planned. You never know. One thing to worry about is summon Ents. Because if Otto gets his... Can you get summon Ents from arrow volley? I can't even remember the PowerPoint paths now. But assuming you can, then yeah, he's going to want the fire upgrades. I don't know if he has it already on his fortress or on these catapults. That could be pretty useful to counter an Ent summon. Really, Men of Dale with fire arrows would be good too. Maybe those, there's an expansion that's like Hall expansion. Get some Men of Dale in there with fire arrows. Those could be pretty useful. Now, okay, there's Otto's builder retreating from this army. I don't really see the point right now of Otto insisting on prolonging the game, because he's really not going to turn this around unless Turgon just decides to go to sleep or something. Which I've seen before. I did one cast where it was clear that one person should have won, and then he went AFK or something, and the other player just slowly destroyed everything and won. It was really silly. And look at that. Oh, it's almost done. He's got his fortress almost done. 98%. Otto making it work. Now, I'm curious. Are we going to see something? He's got 25 points now. He needs to get his 15-point power. But his maximum CP is terrible now. He's lost a lot of Malorn trees. Turgon did his job. And we have Earthquake, which I missed it. It was used... Oh, right. It was used right here. And look at that. Look at that. And I heard the Ent summon, which must be back. Yeah, so I see green over there. And so we have Undermine, Earthquake, and Zealots going after this fortress. And they're going to actually... looks like they're actually going to do it. Yep. Why is the fortress attacking the Undermine? And there you go. The fire upgrade. And that was the Mighty Catapult expansion as well. Very effective. Took out one of the Ents. And that's it. There goes the fortress. That was nice. And now we still have this Ent. Can it actually throw from that range? Wow, it can. So now, Turgon needs to figure out how to kill this Ent. His units are pretty slow. They're taking ages to actually get to it. And we have... I heard that. I don't know where. And, okay, Otto has been defeated. Okay. I'm not sure if Otto quit or if he dropped the barrage on a building, maybe like Otto's last building or something. But yeah, that is it. And that was actually interesting at the end. With Otto rebuilding his fortress and the Undermine, Earthquake, and Zealots combo, that was pretty fun. And Otto trying to take out Turgon's fortress there. And I like that Turgon was prepared for it. He thought about it. He got his armor upgrade for his fortress. He got a few catapults. He got the fire munitions, whatever they're called. And he got the mighty catapult upgrade. So he was obviously prepared for something like an end summon. He was thinking about it. And that's good. That's good. Very well played by both players. And yeah, this was a really nice game on 2.02 version 5. If you haven't downloaded 2.02 version 5, you should download it. And I'm not just saying that because I was one of the people who developed 2.02 version 5. But yeah, it's a really good patch. We made a lot of improvements over version 4. And keep in mind, we're always patching this game. I know that it's an old game. I know that it's no longer being sold. I know that EA really basically abandoned it. But that doesn't mean we're going to stop caring about it. We're still going to patch it. We're still going to make it a better game. And yeah, hopefully we'll see more frequent patches now. And you're going to see more casts from me as well, since now I'm active again. So I'll see you guys next time.